whanau, and welcome to a later episode of Get a Job and Get Healthy with Costas Enterprises. I am your ever-loving host, Alex Costas, and yeah, not exactly sure what this podcast is going to be, so we're going to wing it, which, you know, is normal for most of my podcasts. I've got a couple of things going on in my life which I sort of wanted to talk about, so this is kind of like a little update, give you an idea of what's going on in Alextown. First and foremost, if you want to get in touch with me, you can do so at the Kiwi Don via Twitter and also via Instagram. You can also email me, Don Costas, that's D-O-N for Nike, C-O-S-T-A-S @gmail.com. You can go to my website, www.costasenterprises.business.blog, which is a WordPress site, of course. And yeah, you can hit me up anytime as well. So what as I said, this is just going to be more of an update of what's going on in Alextown. Now you will hear the indicator, you will hear me, driving and stuff, as usual. I know I shouldn't be doing this while I'm driving, but what are you going to do? So, what are we going to talk about? Well, first things are my MetaMask family. Love you guys. I know you guys are listening as well, so I really appreciate that. I've talked before about the community and how amazing the community is. I talked about how now I am a mod. Also on the Discord, I'm at the Kiwi Don through MetaMask NFT. I'm really, really happy to be a part of it. They've actually really taken to this podcast as well, so they've made my podcast a little feature, which is quite cool. And as part of that, to give back to the community, I actually did a little giveaway for my MetaMask family if they were able to actually promote MetaMask and tag me and tag MetaMask, and I could see that they actually did do that, even if it got like one tweet or one retweet or whatever. It's just a way of basically helping hype up the actual the universe and hype up our project. I will give you guys a little sneak peek. Starting tomorrow, or maybe even later tonight, you can actually mint a MetaMask for 0.05, which is the lowest it's been. I have actually bought a couple through OpenSea. I wish I'd saved my money and waited for this weekend. You will be very lucky if you do mint this weekend. You may get one of the special one-of-ones. There are basically 3 one-of-ones, and one is supposed to be going in the next 200 mints. And this is from what we've been told. And if you get that one-of-one, you basically are guaranteed 1 Ethereum, which is about $3,000 to $4,000 depending on the day, which I think is really, really cool. If I had the money, I would actually mint again, because 0.05 is about, probably still about $200 to $300, and hopefully the gas is not too expensive. So yeah, first off, mint this weekend. It is only this weekend that they are doing this special sale. I would definitely get on there and get into it. Jump into our Discord. You'll see the Discord in the links, of course. And yeah, just follow the instructions. It will be officially announced, and it'll be in the announcements tab when they actually do go live with it. So you may want to wait until then if you are looking at doing it. But yeah, it's quite a cool little flash sale, I suppose you could say. And big credit to our boy Meta Ric Flair for just pushing the button on that. Like, they didn't have to, and I think it's a really, really good way to sort of give back to the community. Originally, he wasn't going to announce it completely to everybody. He was just going to keep it within the community. But he has since, it has been approved to go out. So yeah, if you want to get in, now's the time. Great time to sort of mint and potentially get, for the cost of 0.05 of ETH, you could potentially win, the chance to get one that is worth a full ETH. So yeah, yeah, if I had the money, I would definitely do it. Unfortunately, it's off pay week this week, so yeah, that's not too bad. What else is going on in my life? I'm currently on leave. I'm on a week's leave. Basically, my partner is going back to her home country, which is Vietnam. And so I wanted to take the week off, spend a bit of time with her. I haven't had a chance to recently, so this is a way of basically making time for us to have time together, because we don't know when she's going to be able to come back due to COVID, due to, I'm not going to lie, immigration, which is funny because I used to work for immigration. So yeah, it's a very sort of weird process being on the other side as opposed to the processing side. But yeah, it's I know it needs to happen. Like, I want her back, but at the same time, I know that she has her reasons for going back, and they are well and truly justified, and I support her completely. If I was in the same situation, I would be saying what I've said to her, like, go, do what you need to do. It's she hasn't seen her family for like 4 years. Of course, now we've had the whole COVID outbreak, which doesn't help things either. So yeah, it's I thought what I'd talk about not so much her this podcast, but more so what I'm feeling. This will be my first sort of time where I am going to be dealing with quite a bit of emotional stress. So not only am I losing my partner for a week, within 1 to 2 weeks, I also lose my amazing boss that I was talking about in the women podcast that I did. So yeah, losing 2 women, strong influences on my life, very, quick together, was a bit of a, it's going to be a bit of a hard week. And look, I'm going to be open and honest right now. I don't even know if I will do a podcast next week. I'll probably be a complete mess. I am happily admitting that I will probably cry my fucking eyes out. I am, I'm not a softie at all, but at the same time, like, I have previously talked about my counselling, that has basically opened up the complete flood works, the waterworks. I didn't used to cry. I spent years just not crying at all, and didn't even think about it. And then as soon as I started going to counselling and started talking about my feelings that were stuck there, what I needed to do, it let open the floodgates. And it's made things a lot harder, obviously. So I know that, I'm probably going to be very much a complete mess. So I will hopefully record a podcast next week. It'll probably be a bit somber. It'll probably be a bit down. In the same vein, we are looking at sort of hopefully getting my mother into a home. And we actually got a call from the home saying we want to put her in the next 2 weeks. So I was like, nope, sorry, nope, I just cannot, nope. Like, it means a lot for me. It means potentially selling the house, sorting through years of stuff. As I've said before, we are hoarders. It means sorting out someone that is, going through her own stuff. So, yeah, I basically said, look, can we give it a month at least, just so I can sort my shit out? Because, as I said, I will be a wreck. My rock, my second half of my heart, my life, my love is going. And at the moment, we don't know when she's coming back. She says she is coming back, but, immigration could be, could take long. She has to deal with what she has to do. She is hoping to be out, within 8 months, 5 months, but being realistic, it could be a year. And when she's the one that's helped me change more than anybody else, don't get me wrong, I acknowledge the people that have changed me as well. Like, there have been a lot of friends that have helped me, and there's been times when I have listened to them and times that I haven't listened to them. But with my partner, she has made it happen. She has provided me strength when I needed it, and continues to be my rock, as I said. She continues to show me that I can do the things that, I didn't think I could. And yeah, it's going to be hard. I'm not even lying. I'm already feeling slightly depressed and down, and wondering how I'm even going to be able to get through the next week, let alone the next year, if it becomes a year. I know, we're still going to talk to each other every day, but not having her there, not having her, like, when we've lived together for probably over a year and a half now, not being able to go to her, to hold her, just to hug her. Like, I know this is becoming a bit soppy and stuff, but that shit matters, especially to me. Like, I've talked about previously my love languages. Well, she was the one that introduced me to love languages. She is the reason I know about that stuff. She is the reason I started reading. She is the reason I started this podcast. Like, she may not have said directly, like, you should get a podcast, but she's definitely the person that suggested I do a blog and, all that sort of stuff. And, I did start the blog. I didn't really continue with the blog as much as I should, but I probably will start. But the main thing is, like, she taught me that it's okay to start talking. She taught me that I am, okay to talk about my feelings. I am okay to, tell people how I feel, which was huge, because I didn't. I used to keep all that shit bottled up and keep all that shit down. Like, it's going to be very hard for me. And then to have, my boss has found a job somewhere else, and she's so lucky to get it. Like, she's amazing, and I already know they are, like, our team is shocked. Like, we're not shocked because we kind of knew it was coming, but I know it's going to affect us. No one will ever replace her. And in my personal view, I've said it many times, she is literally the best boss I've ever had. I will not have someone like her. I can already tell. Like, she's been so understanding. She's been so helpful and beneficial. And, she's even said that even after what she's left, her obligations to me as a boss are done. Like, she doesn't have to reach out, but she's a true friend. So she's like, look, hit me up. Let's talk. Like, I want to know that you're doing okay. And she's the kind that will actually do that. Other times when you have a boss that moves on, or you move on, they never talk to you, Like, I have one other boss that is like that, who was my very, very first boss. I speak to her every so often, usually on our birthdays, because we have joint birthdays. But, it's like, it's fair weather. It's a little bit. It's not all the time. But with my current boss, like, she's amazing. And I truly feel like this is going to be a very, very hard thing for me to deal with initially. I know that, I will get there. I always bring my strength out in the end. And that's something that I'm aware of and something that I'm okay with. But at the same time, it's not exactly the, to lose two of the strongest females within a week, basically, week and a half, 2 weeks, it's, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, especially considering these women were my emotional rocks. Like, they helped me when I was down. Like, my boss was there when I told her about Hong, my partner, and my partner sees how much my boss does for me as well. So they both know that they are integral in my life. I've got to the point where I now tell them that sort of stuff. And with Hong, it's like, my partner, she's... I can already see myself getting very down and very depressed. I'm trying to keep myself in a positive mood. I'm trying to keep myself, motivated. But there is a lot going on in my life, and I know that my usual tendencies are to do the exact opposite and shut off and do stupid things like just watch TV, just eat food. One of my goals that I'm trying to do is to lose the weight. And one of the things that I'm going to try and do when she's gone is increase my veggies and try to go more plant-based. I know I've talked about it before, and, you know, it was like, it's something that I started to do, but not really. So now is the time when I go, okay, well, you know, she's gone. I have to do this myself. I can't, like, you know, just rest on my laurels. Like, I want her to come back to a healthy Alex, mentally, physically, emotionally. And, you know, it's like, I always talk about being the better man. I know I've come leaps and bounds from the man that I was, you know, 3 years ago. Hell, I've come leaps and bounds from the man I was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was completely different. You know, I was an extrovert, but I was a, you know, self-deprecating, you know, jolly fat guy, because I felt like that was my role that I had to be. I would agree with anything. If you asked something, I would give you the shirt off my back, which I still would do now, but at the same time, I wouldn't, like, you know, there are times when I go, hang on, I need to sort of take time to do this. So yeah, it's, I already know it's going to be hard. And I've just got to sort of sort my shit out, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Like, it is stuff that needs to work. I'm glad I've got the community that I've got now with the MetaMasks. I'm glad I've got my friends that are close to me. They know that what I'm going through, and they know how hard it's going to hit me. Like, you know, they've all said, if you need us, call. Problem is, I am usually the guy that never calls. I'm the guy that thinks I'm too proud to, you know, say, hey, bro, I need to talk, like I'm a wreck, you know. Because of the counselling that I've been in, I think I'm now in that point where, you know, even though I may not initiate it, if someone asks, hey bro, how are you? I will, you know, realise it and go, yeah, I'm not doing too well. You know, it's like, I feel like I can be open, I can be honest about this stuff. And it's huge, it's huge. So, yeah, and part of it is what I'm doing right now, like talking it out. As I said, I'm winging this episode. I had no real idea about what I was going to talk about. I want to talk about what's on my chest, what I'm feeling, what I'm going through. Because, you know what, like, you guys are my support. You guys are my whanau. And we talk with whanau, like we should. Like, if you don't talk with your whanau, if you don't talk with your community, if you don't talk with your friends, who are you talking to? Are you talking to yourself? If you're talking to yourself, can you be judgmental? Can you be reasonable? Or are you listening to the negative thoughts in your mind? Now, I used to listen to, I fully admit, I used to talk to myself quite a bit. I would have full conversations with myself and justify things in my mind because I was too afraid to talk to other people about what I was going through. Now I'm at that stage where I'm okay to go, you know what, I can talk to myself, I can sort shit out through my head the way I would normally. Now, when I say I talk to myself, I'm not saying that I talk to myself and I hear other voices like, hey, like, you know, eat that donut, you know you want it. Well, okay, I do hear the eat the donut guy, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, you know, kill the people. No, I don't go that far. Like, I'm more in the place that, you know, I will have a rational discussion with myself, and rather than me thinking it, I talk it. I go, you know what, you should, maybe you should think about doing this. Yeah, okay, yeah, I think I should. You know, and whether or not that classes me as, you know, multiple personalities, I doubt it very much, but, you know, it is a way that I have always sort of worked through my shit. And like when I'm angry, I will talk to myself about why I'm angry. What would it mean if I said this? What would it mean if I did this? And, you know, I've talked before about how I like to try and see both sides, and that is kind of where that comes from. I try to see like both sides in the way that, like, when I'm thinking in my rational mind, like, am I thinking like, is this the way I should be thinking? Is this, you know, is this justified in what I'm thinking, or am I not? You know, if I'm not, why am I not? You know, what would it take me to be that? Or am I overthinking? You know, I do think about those sorts of things, and I have those moments with myself as well. And of course, having my partner, having my boss, I could talk to them about that sort of stuff. Like, my boss was so supportive about me going to the counsellor. And when I told her I was giving up the counsellor, she was like, look, you may need to go back. And so, yeah, there were times when I went back, because she was like, look, you're going through a lot at the moment, you need to sort your shit out. And she didn't mean that in a way like, you need to sort your shit out. It was more like, I know how you get. I know how this can dwell on you, and this how it can affect you. My friendship that I keep talking about that broke up, like, she knew something was up. And, she sort of said to me, like, are you okay? Like, and I told her what was going on, and she's like, okay, you know what you're going to do? You're going to call your lawyer, you're going to call your counsellor now, and you're going to go have a discussion. I was like, oh, but I've got work. And she goes, no, you're going to do it now. And I did. And, it's little things like that make her just, she is so understanding. And if she said, Alex, I need you to join me, I would be there in a heartbeat. Quite simply, in a heartbeat. Now, you might be asking, why am I not going with my partner? She's going for a long time. My mother is still quite sick. She's not in a home yet. When she is in a home, I will start saving. I will start, looking at going over. Now, of course, I can't go over for a long, long time, but I do want to go over. I do want to be there for like a month if possible. It's... I want to see her family. I want to meet them. I want to get to a point where I can propose, but ask, her mum, her brother's permission first. I'm very old-fashioned like that. I can't do that to the father. The father's passed away. And, yeah, I still want to... I want to do it traditional. And I love her, like, so much. And she doesn't really care about this stuff. Like, to her, it's like, oh, if we get married, we get married. Like, it's just a piece of paper. It's just, I'm the opposite. Like, I grew up in a Greek family. According to my dad, I should only be marrying another Greek. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But what I'm trying to say is, when you lose people in your life, for whatever reason, take your time, remember them. Like, I know both these women aren't dead. They aren't dying. One is still in Wellington. They're still going to be here, and if I need to, I can always reach out. But I know that the hardest thing for me is going to be missing my partner. Like, with her gone, my life feels empty. And that's sad, because my life felt empty before she met me. When I say she's my rock, she's my heart. What I mean is, it sounds cliche, but I didn't know I was whole until we were together. My whole life, I had dealt with rejection after rejection after rejection. I got myself to a point mentally and physically and emotionally where I'd given up. I wasn't thinking suicide, but I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to find anything good in my life. There's no way I'm going to ever get out of the rut that I'm in. There's no way, I saw the darkness. I saw the despair, and I was okay with it. It's not easy. It's not easy. And to have someone, like, my friends were helping me. Don't get me wrong, they were trying to, lift my spirits, even though they all had partners and I didn't. I was still living at home. They were moved out. They were fine. But I had resigned that I was never going to find anybody. I was fat, I was lazy, I felt I wasn't good enough for anybody. It took someone else to show me that I was. That was my partner. It was like, if you can picture the Sistine Chapel, it was like God's hand reaching down. And when she pulled me up, she pulled me out of my funk. It's because of her, I got my restricted license for driving. I, finally made the call to move out. And we were together for like a year and a half. And I'd spent 30 years, 20 years trying to get out. But feeling that I was obligated to stay because my father had gone and I had to be the man of the house. I had a sick mother that I had to look after. And I felt obligated that I had to stay there. But she gave me hope. She gave me strength. I will always love her for that. No matter what happens in the future, if something does happen and she can't come back, like, I'll fucking go there. I'll fucking go there. She is the only one I want to be with for the rest of my life. She knows this. And one day it will be. One day it will be. She has some conditions before I can officially propose. And you were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, we've talked about this stuff. Like, if I could have proposed to her now, I would. But she wants to see me in a healthy way. So I'm going to take this next 6 months, 8 months, a year, however long it takes for her to get back, to really focus, to really get myself better. Now, I'm not going to be stupid and try to do it all at once and be like, yeah, I've got to cut out all the fat, I've got to cut out all this, I've got to do this. I'm going to do it gradually. I need to do it gradually so that I get to the point where I can go, yep, this has become a lifestyle for me. I don't want to diet it. I don't want to cheat it. If I wanted to cheat it, I would go get some supplements, go get some fucking, some shakes, eat nothing but shakes for 6 months. But then as soon as I come off the shakes, what happens? All that weight comes right back. I've done nothing. I need to change my lifestyle, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm doing it because I want to have a future with her. We've already talked about what we want to do in our future. So I have no qualms that we will be together. Whereas I did. Old Alex would have thought this is too good to be true. She's going to cheat on me. She's going to, she's going to leave me for someone else. Because that's who I was. I had no confidence in myself. I had no confidence that I was enough for her, for anybody. But now I am. That is what she means to me. She has made me realize that I am worth something. Not only to me, but to someone else. So that's enough about me talking about love and all that sort of stuff. You guys are probably turning off like, oh God, it's another love episode. Oh. If you're still listening to me, I appreciate you. I really do. You guys know that I love you all. I wish you the best. I always do. And if you're going through something like this as well, like, hit me up. Talk. I am happy to talk to my audience. Male, female, binary, non-binary, be you heterosexual, pansexual, homosexual, like, if it's you and you're in the same position, like maybe you've got a partner somewhere else, you feel lost, hit me up. Let's talk. We can keep it all confidential. We can keep it all private. I'm not going to put you on the podcast and be like, well, this person said this about this person. Like, no. It's okay to have feelings. Guys, I've said that before to all of them, my guy friends. It is okay to have feelings. It is okay to express yourself. Don't do what I did. Don't bottle that shit up. Don't make yourself a victim of your own feelings, feeling that you can't say anything because, you think you can't say anything because you have to be this way macho. You got to be the guy that doesn't cry, the guy that doesn't say anything. Like, no, fight it. Say something. If you see someone, she's really, or he is really important in your life, say something. I tell my partner at least 10, 15 times a day, I love you. Like, baby, I love you. And I mean it with conviction every fucking time. She is my world. That's it. It's my partner, Planet Hong. Like, I'm just gonna, that's, to me, that is it. She is my world. Now, I have other things in my world that occupy my time, occupy my thing, but all of that stuff wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for her. I wouldn't have this podcast. I wouldn't have, I wouldn't even have the money to be able to buy into MetaMask if it wasn't for her. I was, up until the time that I was with her, I was $30,000 in debt. I managed to pay that off in 12 months. This from a guy that being in debt for 20 years. 20 years almost. Never having a coin to his name. Never having anything. Buying everything and anything for no fucking reason. She helped me see there's no value in that. She has helped me see investing. I've talked about before. I did a Sharesies for Dummies, an Investing for Dummies podcast episode. I might do another one soon. But the only reason I can talk about that stuff, because she showed me. She opened my eyes. She got me out of debt. Now, I'm not saying that she paid for me. She offered to pay for me. She offered to give me 10K, 15K to pay off my debt, and I just pay it to her. I said, no, baby, I need to do this. And the reason I said that wasn't because I was just prideful. Part of it was because I was prideful, but mostly it was because if I was going to get out of this journey, I had to do this by myself. Now, having her support was amazing. Having her show me that, I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. Now, I'm not going to lie, I do still live paycheck to paycheck. But that paycheck to paycheck is putting money away. It's putting money into other things. It's, I live hard at the moment so that I can live comfortable future. I don't want to be working when I'm 65, have fuck all to my name. And she helped me realize that. She gave me she always said this to me at the start. Now, I'm not going to say we have a perfect relationship. We have fought. We've had many fights. Most of them about my actions. Most of them about the way that I was being. Money was a huge one. We almost broke up over a money argument because I decided I wanted to go to America when I was already 10K in debt, and I added another 10K to that debt. It's like the decisions that I was going through, and I was going through some shit. That was the reason why I used. I said, look, I need to go. I'm losing my shit. I haven't been anywhere for fucking years. I'm exhausted. And this is when I was at my height of stress, of anxiety, of, debt. Like, I had all of these things going through my mind. But I thought getting away was going to help. It did. Until the last couple of days, when things turned sour. Other than that, it was a great trip. But that's beside the point. What I should have done is gone, sorry, I can't go. Saved my money, paid off my debt. And then I wouldn't have to wait 5 years to finally get to a place where I paid everything off and now have money. Like, I have money now that I can actually use to invest in NFTs, to invest in shares, to invest in a trip to Australia. Very soon I've got a wedding that I've got to go to. I would usually have had to borrow the money to go to Australia. It's a $300, $400 ticket, if that. Now I'm at the point where I'm saving up enough money that I can be there for like a week. I can buy a nice present. I can actually have some food. I can go out for a little bit. Like, you know, I know she's not going to be with me. And that cuts really deep. But without her, I would never have gotten to that point. I would never have known, okay, I need to put this much aside so that I can go to Vietnam to visit her. I need to put this much aside so we can go to Korea. I need to put this much aside so that I can have a retirement fund. I had a retirement fund. I was paying 3%. Now that's the base fucking minimum. I increased it to 4%. Then with her help, after I paid my debt, I realised I can live on what I was minus the debt that I was paying. And all I have to do is increase my retirement. I now have 10% going into my retirement. My retirement in the last year has jumped 20,000. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Now, but granted, that is me putting in money, my employer putting in 3%, and me putting in 10%. So I'm now putting in 13%. I wish I'd done this fucking years ago. My projected income, because of what I've changed, originally it was sitting at around 239,000 by the time I'm 65. Now it's sitting at like 330,000, just from increasing to 10%. That's the power of the compound interest and stuff. And I wish I'd known this 20 years ago. Or 18 years ago when I first started working. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll put in for the retirement scheme. The one thing I'm proud of is I decided on my own to put into that retirement scheme. Now, the next year they had KiwiSaver, which was automatic. Everyone gets enrolled into KiwiSaver. But I had that 1 year extra at 3%, which is now 4%. Because I decided to go, you know what? Yeah, I will put in. Because at that time I thought where I was working was going to be a career. It wasn't, but I was there for 5 years. Then I moved to another government department where I've been for 13 years. So, all in all, while I should have been making a lot more in the 20 years, at least that was my only savings. For a long time, I didn't have savings. Now I'm at the point where I'm investing and I've got money going to other places where I've got savings. I don't have debts. I don't have to worry about my afterpay. I don't have to worry about, can I get to work the next day because I don't have the money to fucking travel? Do I have to call in sick? When I was at work and income, I called in sick sometimes. Why? Because I didn't have the money until the end of the month to get to work. All of that changed after being with her. I was learning about money. I was learning about myself. I was learning about... I know more now about my mental health, my mental state. Now, a lot of that came from my counsellor, but a lot of it also came from the knowledge that she gave me. She showed me how to find a simple app where I can put my library card, which I never fucking used, and now I get daily books. And what's even better is they are audio books. I don't even have to fucking read. I can literally listen. I mean, the power that someone can have on your life is huge. When you find that right person, hold on. And the moral of the story is, tell them you fucking love them. Tell them what they mean to you. Don't let that shit go. Don't let it go unsaid. Say it. If you've got someone in your life that has made an impact, it doesn't even have to be a partner. It could be a parent. It could be a brother. It could be a sister. Hell, it could be a nephew. It could be a niece. It could be an employer. If you have someone that gives your life value, has helped you so much, tell them. Because you know what? They might be weirded out. They might be like, oh, what the fuck are you saying? Like, But they'll start to feel better. They'll start to realize that they make a difference. That you appreciate them. You don't have to tell them every day, but, if it's your partner or your parents and stuff, you probably should say that quite often. But with me, like, I have to say to my partner every day, I love you. Because I know my life without her. I know where I was. I know where I was going to be. Now I don't know where I'm going to be. In 10 years, I don't know where I'm going to be. I'll hopefully be, as big as someone like Gary Vee with the stuff that I'm planning. But that's it. I'm planning now. I'm thinking. I'm not living in myself and, not worrying about anything. You can say, oh, well, that's the power of love. You know what? It is the power of love. But it's not just the love that I have for her. It's the love that she's shown me that I can love myself. Every time I do something wrong, I always say to her, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And a couple of times, I think she just got sick of me saying I'm sorry. And she made me realize that the person that I have to say sorry to is not her. Even though I feel like I have to say it to her, the sorry is to me. So, when you learn to love yourself because of someone else, tell that person. Tell them that, because of you, I found me. With her, she saved me. Now, granted, I made the changes that I needed to make, but without her showing me, I never would have made those changes. Never. I'd always said that I was going to make the changes, but I never did. I told my friends, yeah, I'm going to, but I never did. And that's what I'm talking about. If you realize your self-worth, if you're happy with yourself, think about who made you that way. If it was you, you know what? Tell yourself you love yourself. Like, you know what? I'm pretty fucking amazing. I did that myself. But if someone was there, even just a shoulder to talk to, say that. Call them. If it's been years, call them. Go, hey, mate, just want to say thank you. Like, I really appreciate you. You helped me through a lot. Wish we could be close. Now, granted, I should do that with my friend, but I feel like if I did that now, I might potentially fall back. And I'm not strong enough to do that now. I am strong, but I'm not that strong. There are still problems. Especially what I'm going through now is a huge test. With my partner going, this is a huge test. And God damn it, I want to ace it. I want to ace it. Well, thank you for listening, guys. I think I should end it there before I start crying or something like that. There'll be another podcast for that anyway. As always, thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys. Whoever listens, whenever they listen, you're hearing my words. Now, you may or may not act on what I'm saying. You may just think I'm a bit crazy, a bit weird, but you still listen. And even if you listen for 1 minute to the full, 45 minutes that we're listening to at the moment, thank you. And as always, I love you guys, and good luck.